So we both read this article in the cut called "Would It Be or It Must Be Nice to Be a West Side Girl?"
Yes, one of us read it very quickly under time constraints, and the other read it under luxurious, free leisure time.
I read it in my East
you
Harlem
decide
villa.
whose opinion is better and who read at which speed.
But the premise of the article basically is like there's a new class of individuals who are now famously, we were saying the West Village is like normally a bohemian haunt. Like it's the location of Greenwich Village, and despite a lot of the developments that have happened, like it's been seen in some ways to keep the kind of cobblestone grit of the Beat generation who initially moved there. That's what.
That's the thing, though. Like, actually, it's funny because at the end of the article, it does say that like that neighborhood had essentially been cleaned up, and ripe for nepo babies to come in, and just it's almost like a Connecticut suburb at that point. It's so posh, it's so clean. It's ripe for that sort of seed to be plowed into that field, if you like. If you're a farmer, you appreciate that. But if you're not, you might find it offensive.
The fields are fallow, and we must lay the seeds. The field. Well, I guess fallow is not. Fallow means like not
fallow.
right. Fallow means like not right. Fallow is like when you till a field, and you actually have to wait to turn the field over one more year because for some plants they I don't know how to say it. They take all the nutrients out of the soil, so you have to wait for a year. So the field is fallow.
Oh,
so it's not dead. It's just you have to wait for the nutrients to replenish.
Right.
The thing is like the article focuses on this archetype of a new individual called. Not a new individual.
No, it's one we've seen before.
It is one we've seen before, but she comes in many different flavors, or he comes in many different flavors across
but only
time.
One color of hair.
Blonde. Always blonde.
I love that the article, like... and there was one brunette.
Yeah, exactly. They're always described as, like who, Rob, in your opinion, before we kickstart, like, the conversation on the West Side, like, who is your archetypal, based on what you've read and what you've seen? Because you're somebody, you've grown up in New York.
A Jew.
Yes. Yeah, you're a Jew.
Yeah.
You have a natural sort of knee-jerk response to blonde hair.
Yeah.
No, but, like, you have grown up in New York, ostensibly, for a lot of your life. You've seen some of the changes. Who is the West Side Girl? Do you feel like this corresponds, what's in the article? Who's the West Side Girl in the article? Do you feel like it corresponds to archetypes you've seen before?
I mean, I don't think that honing in on, like, a physical type is necessarily useful, because it's really more like a lifestyle / like economic affinity thing. Like, I went to private school, as you know, and it was a little awkward because, like, the people I went to school with are, like, crazy rich.
Yeah.
Like, I went to school with, I think maybe, well, Francis McDormand and, one of the Coen brothers. Yeah, their adopted kid was in, like, the 2 or 3 grades below me.
Damn. Okay.
Ben Stiller was an alumni.
Oh,
I saw him once. My homeroom teacher or whatever.
What did he look like? Was he cool?
I don't know. He held the door for me as I was going in.
Whoa! Yeah, Ben Stiller's my doorman. Yeah. That's what you're saying. You hear that, Ben? You hear that?
But yeah, I thought that was cool. What was my point? But anyway, it's just like
growing up with, it was just
the wealth gap was pretty insane, and I guess I didn't really like have a meaningful acknowledgement of it at the time because I was
You don't have any perspective on it.
I had zero
probably.
perspective on it. Like, I just kind of assumed everyone was in a similar situation, but and there were other kids like me, but it was you know, obviously, like, well, it was like one of our friends was like this guy whose dad was like this big powerful attorney, lived in Trump Tower, is like would throw Mac laptops from one end of his room to the other if he was like sad, or just like crazy wealth disparity.
Well, and like,
sorry, to answer your question though,
yeah,
is there like
is there
type?
a pre-existing archetype?
Yeah, there is definitely a type, and it's just like you like, people always think about like a child that you never say no to, but you can really do that at any economic level. It's more about the scale. It's like, you know what I mean? It's like if you're starting out your life as a child of Manhattan dwelling parents on, say, like the Upper East Side or in Tribeca or on the Upper East Side or something, like you are literally at the top 1.5% of life, you know? And so, like, no to you would mean, like, no, you can't vacation on the moon this summer. You know what I mean? It's, like, totally different from saying no to, like, no, I can't afford to send you to music camp if you grew up in the South or something.
These are people who, like, the West Side girls or the West Side people are the types of people who would, like...
It's not just girls. I mean...
It's not, but the West Side girl is the archetype because, like, in the article basically describes, right, like, these people who move to the West Village in Manhattan, which for anybody who doesn't know is like one of the lowest parts of the island of Manhattan.
Hence the lower part.
And these are people who famously, like, would be like, oh, I don't go anywhere above 14th Street. That would be the stereotype. And
Right.
And for anybody who doesn't know, like, I live on 103rd. I live on 103rd and East.
I live in Washington Heights.
You live in Washington.
Across the river.
Yeah, you live on the canal side of Washington Heights. And like, these are people who their whole life of New York is literally within a 14 to 30 block radius of the lower parts. And the lower parts over the past decade, like, I was looking at this, and like, I just have some notes I want to read off. So
right.
Sorry, that's
I'm gonna eat
so
some peanuts
bright.
if that's okay.
So basically, like, on the Lower East Side of Manhattan recently, there have been more $30 million plus deals made in the past 5 years than in the previous decade for real estate. Over $1 billion in 20 million plus properties have been sold in like 10 years in the lower parts of Manhattan. And the whole thing about these Upper West Side girls, like as typified in the article, which you can read in the cut, they're going to charge you, so be careful. But
yeah, I saw that.
The whole thing with the upper, or with the West Side, the West Village girls, is that they all hang out around the draw for them is not exploration. It's not, oh, I'm seeing different parts of the city.
Right. It's not bon vivant as one knows it.
This is not the Bob Dylan or the Beat Generation. This is not the rowdy gays of the 1970s. These are... Well, I mean that in the best way possible. Like,
no, I know what you mean. I know.
But
I was just trying to be like a little bit of a foil.
Yeah. How
a bit
dare
of a dick.
You? Well, they like that.
They do like that.
No, of course. I don't know what they like.
That's nutty.
But
yeah, go
ahead. These people come in and it's like, it is like, it literally, like the scene from Attack of the Clones, the Star Wars prequel Attack of the Clones, where it's like Obi-Wan and the Kaminoan clone army engineer are looking out over the vast like troop bay where the clone troopers are marching in formation already made. It's like we didn't even, like Obi-Wan at the time is thinking like we didn't even ask for these to be made. But like that's the West Village girls, is like they are just all perfect clones of each other. Most of the time they wear some combination of a puffer vest, a white t-shirt, or a full Aritzia like bodysuit. They'll wear leggings. They wear denim, baggy denim jeans with white sneakers and like a white or a black t-shirt.
Read that quote properly. The Aritzia one.
That's Caitlin.
That's a Caitlin.
That's a Caitlin observation.
I just
You're
wanted
right.
to point
You're right.
that out. But
And
it is funny because in the article they do refer to themselves as the plastics without the meanness.
they say the plastics without the meanness,
I'm like,
but that's
yeah,
basically
the
like
the
saying
clone troopers also are
the
plastics without the meanness.
you can literally imagine some like rich West Side Girl dad looking out over on a balcony, like watching these girls march like to
Very good.
it's like magnificent.
Oh,
With a million more well on the way. You know, like, and that's ultimately the problem is like this article is basically advancing this idea that in a place of former bohemianism, in a place of former artistry, creativity, a hotbed of, to a degree in some cases, revolutionary or rebellious thought, that a different form of life has now moved in. The West Village, that's where the meatpacking district is. And there are no longer blue-collar workers working in the meatpacking district. I mean, all of those places have been turned into luxury high-rises, or they've been rented out by...
Hashtag from blue collar to blue blood.
From blue collar to blue blood, son.
Ooh. Son?
But,
what was that?
But it's
What
true.
Did you call me your son?
Blue collar to blue blood, son. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I have a dad, but I don't know who he is.
I'm so confused,
Papa,
but I'm excited.
Is that you?
No.
Papa.
No. But that's the ultimate thing about the article is like it's describing this group of young women who are in their early to late 20s.
Yeah.
And their whole life, as far as their Instagram stories would lead one to believe, revolves around cheeky Aperol spritzes at brunch, getting a nice and
it's
espresso.
not one-dimensional.
It's not. You can get either or, and then a nice little lunch somewhere or a run maybe, and then you go for like a guilty cocktail or a frozen yogurt on the weekend or whatever. And the idea being basically that
James,
like
it's the three drinker. Have you heard of this?
I only from this article, the three drinker.
I love that.
Which literally in Manhattan in the West Village will cost you $100 to drink three drinks. Like it will easily, 3 drinks will run you at the very least $60. And that's
People always make fun of me for showing up drunk to most things. But that is because it's called budgeting, baby. You do a little party at home.
You can't show up sober to a party in Manhattan or New York.
First of all, also, you're an asshole if you do that.
You are.
Second of all, you're an asshole. You're a big jerk to your wallet if you're going to go spend your money on getting drunk at an actual bar. Because that is just... I'm rubbing my fingers together to intimate the sound of gold.
Money, money, money.
Money, money, money. That is way too much money. And all that shit is absolutely watered down. The best experience you can have is making friends and drinking at their place.
But I agree.
Yeah, I know you do.
What I totally agree.
I know you do.
I know. But what we're typifying right now is like the absolute antithesis of the West Side Girl. The West Side Girl would not say that. The West Side Girl would say the best time you can have is actually going out to the name brand bar of the month.
Sure.
And you go with your girls, and you all look cute, and you all look, tight and nice. You take photos while you're there. and you maybe meet some guys who are in finance there, and nobody does anything too cheeky unless they want to, because obviously, girl, you live your life, girl.
But also, if you do, I mean, there were those complaints in that article, right, about how the Spaniard had gotten really raunchy suddenly.
Yeah, and
so I don't know if it's actually so tight and nice or whatever, or if it's loose and the goose is running wild.
I think ultimately these people like are literally, they are the, like, to use such a perhaps far outdated metaphor, they are the British colonists in a late stage India. I mean, they are.
Yeah, it's so funny,
you know,
that you say that. I actually had bizarrely the same thought. Like,
did you actually?
Yeah.
They're literally like, these are people, like, the thing is, the West Village has a personality, it has a culture, it has a style, and it's something that's evolved. And now you get a bunch of people, and, like, to paint the picture, the West Side Girl, like, let's paint a picture. The West Side Girl, as depicted by the article, is like a young, mid to late 20-something young woman who loves shopping at luxury brands. She loves green matcha. She loves getting Aperol spritzes or espresso martinis with her girlfriends. They might meet up for a cheeky little lunch or a dinner with their boys or boys that they know. And the whole reason they stay in this area, in this West Side area, is because a lot of these people are recent college graduates, and they love the fact that they can go to somewhere that is the New York TM life, but it's been curated for them.
You know what? That was actually going to be my main point, is like, and I don't think that the Raj was great or anything, but I think at least if you met someone at like a foreign, hey, like, you're fucking destroying this culture too, that's crazy, like, you have something exotic in common. You know, sort of like two Nazis at a death camp, like, that's
yeah, exactly. They really are like the commandants of the camp.
It's
yeah,
like,
they are.
Oh my god. You hate the Juden as well?
I love sending people to death.
I do too. I love when the handle goes down.
You're a very sexy
it's
girl.
Very sexy.
You're very sexy. I love the way that you made the typography for the wanted posters for the missing prisoners. Yeah, right? Yeah. Like marketing and finance girls.
Totally. But I was just like, these people are exploring their own country, and they're treating the most polished, most manicured neighborhood as like some kind of exotic playground.
Can I read something? Do you mind if I read? I've wanted to read this. Okay.
Give me your best voice, though.
Okay, I will. So basically, like, you know, I wrote this piece as part of a novel that I'm writing and will finish one day. But the idea basically is like it's writing about, or it's talking about, like, New York bohemians, which are like the artists in New York or whatever. But I think that, like, the bohemian class is connected to this, because whether or not those artists realized it, and I include the Beats in this, by moving in and making the West Village like a cool hangout spot, they fucked it. Because, like, you can't make something comfortable and expect real life to thrive there, because real life does not thrive in comfort. We crawled out of the primordial ocean not because we were comfortable, but because we wanted something else, because we were uncomfortable. And
careful, because you're treading on fascistic
ground here.
Attitude, yeah.
Well, I would say, like,
because I believe in. I mean, listen. Do you think, like, socialism is too complacent? Like, because that's the difference, right? It's like what the life that the people in this article are described as living is not comfortable. It's like cush. Like, everything has guards. Like, okay, if you want to drink at 2 p.m., feel free, because your only obligation is to drop a Insta picture or two today, if you're up for it. If you think you have it in you, can you take a picture of yourself? Yes, very good. You know, That's the life of a content creator. I
Is
guess.
that any different from fascism, though? Just like checking in with your face and making sure that everything's okay and everything.
No, but I'm saying like I don't know. These people obviously don't worry about fucking getting sick and not having someone to look after them. You know.
It's true.
If I fucking twist my ankle walking in the rain up to my work, I'm fucked. You know?
And make no mistake, these people don't care about those things. They don't.
No,
they
obviously.
They wouldn't, because
Yeah.
it'd be like, oh, if I get hurt, I can just have medical attention. Like,
That's the other thing too. Is this take on? I'm sorry, I cut you off though.
no. I was basically done. Yeah.
Were you?
Yeah.
Okay. Because like the thing that really chops me up, if you like, is that also the article takes pains to say that these people are like apolitical.
They're not.
But the thing is like, I don't know. I take issue with people who say that they're like centrist or apolitical, because I think it's impossible to be apolitical when you know something is happening and your opinion is no opinion, right? If you know that, for example, the Holocaust is happening, and you're like, well, I don't take a side on that, you know? I'm sorry, but you're a fucking freak, you know?
Yeah.
If you, and I'm just gonna say it, if you're looking at the Israeli temperament, and you're looking at pro-rape rallies,
Intersection.
and you're thinking, what?
I said intersection.
I'm sorry, I'm just saying, like, I mean, and you don't, and your opinion is, well, you know, I think I need to educate myself more, or I don't know enough about the issue, and you're, like, on the side of the people who have pro-rape rallies. I don't know.
But that's the point, is that these people, like, they won't even think about that. Because for them, like, for these West Side girlies, and when I say girlies, I mean the guy, like, these West Side people, these West Village people, it's like, they don't consider, I know, I'm empty too. I'm gonna read this.
We need a little break.
We do.
A short one.
I'm gonna read this, if that's all right. Okay. So, I wrote this about New York bohemians, and this is, like, from the book that I am writing. And,
What's it called?
It's called Herman and Hank. It's like a fiction.
Which one is the Jew?
Herman.
Right.
Yeah, Herman.
Herman? And the good Jewish name?
Herman Aaron Moisenstein. Yeah, dude.
Are you serious?
Yeah, for real.
Herman Aaron?
Do you know why Aaron? Do you know why Aaron?
Do you know
Do you know why?
Do you know why?
Because Aaron was... Dude, people don't realize this, but Moses supposedly had a stutter, like speech impediment, so Aaron had to speak for him.
Bullshit. I saw
multiple
the Prince
times.
of Egypt. He had no star.
Yeah, well, that's Hollywood, baby.
Oh,
that's
is
not
it?
The book. Yeah.
Oh, is it?
But I wrote this... So the reason I wrote this was because
It was animated, so it didn't take place in Hollywood.
You're right. I forgot
Idiot.
it wasn't made by Hollywood. It was
You're
made
so dumb.
in the ether that all animation gets made.
Exactly.
But I
Made by
wrote
the Japanese.
I wrote this talking about the New York bohemians who
Eren-san,
I
you have a stutter.
you
You must
Eren-
speak for me.
they do not take me seriously for some reason. No! Oh no! Alright, hold on. I'm gonna read this. Alright. So this is all about New York bohemians, which I'm writing this, and this is mainly geared towards the artsy-fartsy, dime square
You have to come back to that.
types of people. Well, we'll come back to it.
Okay.
But I do want to read this.
Sorry.
Do you want to go back to it right now? We can go back to it right now.
I need a little more
The
time.
idea of a Japanese Moses? Yeah.
Eren.
It's like, just get the words out,
I
Moses.
can't.
Hey.
I cannot do. Oh, dude, this is too.
It's like this guy's speaking a different language.
This is just for us. We
Yeah,
can't
this is,
do
yeah. I do want to read this, though.
Okay,
I do.
go for it,
Okay, so the New York bohemians, and I wrote this, again, for, like... The reason I'm saying this is because I do believe that the art artistic collective that hold up in the lower side of Manhattan pave the way, whether they realize it or not, for these kind of like gentrifying yuppies who have now become the West Village girls and boys. And I think even though when I'm writing, what I'm going to read applies to like those phony artistic types, it applies to these people in general. So I'm going to read this.
But, okay, I want you to read it. Just something to keep in mind, just so that I get it out there. Don't you feel that it's inevitable that poor artists will live in a place that rich people will want to take over? So it's almost like not their fault.
It's
like pick the place that the rich people
not
want
entirely, but we could do something to prevent it. Like we could at least, like, it sounds really awful, but you could literally be like, you're not, if you're wearing like a puffer vest, you should not be in the West Village. Like,
Okay.
you know, like, but I'm gonna read this,
Okay,
and we'll see if it resonates at all. Okay. The New York Bohemians. Hank shuddered. Those soul-sucking, wannabe, leech, parasite, Warhol golems. Ghouls. Beasts, which slouched towards whatever Bethlehem had not yet suffered their revelation. They came slowly at first, like the first couple stars falling from heaven before a pandemonic meteor shower. You could make them out by their drawl, which sucked the air and the life, the very color, out of any room they opened their gaping, hollow maws. There was no telling between officers or enlisted men, which made it far more difficult to take out the leaders. But two classes of uniforms were clearly distinguishable. $500 clothes which were made to look thrifted, or obviously expensive clothes to show that they had, quote-unquote, made it. Made it as what? Artists, they would say. These leering jackanapes had the gall to call their rancid blogs and independent films so self-gratifying, Onan himself would call for modesty, this psychic jism art. They called themselves artists. Artists sent their wives letters writing in beautiful prose about how much they wanted to sniff their farts. Artists cut off their ears and got thrown in mental asylums. Artists mailed bombs to people stapled to manifestos. Artists put shotguns in their mouths after making love to a young man they swore they never would. Artists got belligerently drunk and fought each other in the streets until other artists had to come in and pull them off of each other. Artists bled, pissed, shit, cum, vomited, cried, wrote, painted, sang, carved, danced, and spoke and lived their craft on every stone they walked and person they met. They risked everything. They loved. These people were not artists. They were tourists in the countryside of human emotion, bourgeoisie of the soul. They spiritually and physically gentrified every place they colonized, then made money and reputations beating their breasts on the great shame of it all. Poisonous Janician hypocrites and sleeper agents of capital fascism. Artists were, above all, messy. They were alive and they bled for it. These people couldn't stand life. In another life, they'd be Disney adults, but because their fragile egos could only entertain one personality complex dedicated to theme parkifying the world, they were New York bohemians. So anything below 14th Street was out. So that doesn't entirely apply, all of it, to... Sorry.
We should talk about that.
We should talk about that. I mean, that's pretty heavy. Do we want to take a break and then we come back? What do you think?
I think, first of all, we should do a refill.
Refill? A break?
Also, we should refill our hearts with glee.
Yes, we should.
And we're back.
And we're back.
For real, though. But we're going to refill our glasses. Our hearts are
Yep.
fine. be right back.
We'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen.
And we'll be back, and we will be talking about why James's writing is up its own butt.
Oh, hey! My favorite topic.
Bye-bye.
All right. Bye.
Be right back.
Forward.
Do it.
Okay. Cheers. We got some soft
Stroop for the boy.
Stroop waffles for the boy.
All right.
Cheers.
Cheers, man.
Cheers.
Put it down.
Kanpai, as they would say.
Do they?
Yeah, kanpai.
That is a, fuck you, American.
Fuck you! Fuck you, dolphin! Fuck you, man! Yeah, no. Oh.
Oof.
Tastes sake.
Yeah. It tastes, like expensive stuff.
It's nice, it's smooth.
It's funny because I feel like the cheaper stuff is proper smooth, but then the more money you buy, you're buying more problems in the form of complexity.
You know, they say more money, more problems.
Dude,
that's an ancient Japanese phrase.
Japanese.
More money, more problems.
That is what our people say.
That is what we say. It is an ancient
Here
Japanese
in
wisdom.
Osaka, we say more money, more problems.
Amen, amen. I say to you, amen. Now, okay, so I do actually want to ask, what were your thoughts on this West Side Girl this West Side article? Like, what do you think? Because you grew up, you were born in Brooklyn.
I used to be a West Side girl, yes.
You were a former West Side girly.
No, not quite, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's almost like there's a pretty interesting comparison there in the article about how they want almost to be considered alongside the lines of a Carrie, which we're gonna get into in a future episode, obviously, because we're watching Sex and the City for ourselves. But
we are.
If you know anything about Sex and the City, you don't will Carrie. You don't want to be a Carrie.
No, I said before, you don't identify as Carrie. You either are or you are not.
It's either a pathology.
Yeah, it's actually who you are or you are not.
Or you've cleared the bill.
Or you want to be Carrie, in which case you're one of the other characters in Sex and the City.
That makes you sick, proper.
It does make you proper sick.
But yeah, I don't know. I can't relate because I've never had the deluxe DLC version of life called Wealth.
Yeah.
Independent of cost.
Intergenerational wealth. Yeah.
Did not download that content.
Should
to try it.
Yeah.
But, but the way they kind of go about their life is very much like they're on an exotic tour, but it's not actually anywhere exotic. It's just the West Village. Like, they could do this at Sandals, Cancun or something, and I feel like their lives would also be relegated to the same 3x3 mile radius.
Well, that's why I call these people like Disney adults of the soul, right? Because I when we were talking before, I compared these people to like the older type people, like stereotypically boomers, but just any old type person who would go on a cruise ship.
They're called Zoomers.
Boomers.
There's a reason.
Boomers.
No,
boomers,
I know what you're saying, but I'm saying there's a reason why Zoomers is such a good fit.
It in a weird way, they think they're different, but they just switched out one letter.
Yeah, fashion isn't the only thing that's cyclical.
No, true. Attitudes are as well, and these West Side girls are they all come from places like New Jersey, California, Chicago. They move out to the West Village because they've heard about it on Instagram or TikTok. They have the money. Now, keep in mind, the apartments that are renting in the West Village are usually between, at the cheapest, $3,000 and the most expensive like 75K.
Right.
75K. So not 75,000, but 7,500.
Okay.
And these,
That is a crazy number.
it's insane. It's
Let's
insane.
just say these are crazy figures.
Because if you're paying 7,500 a month in rent, I mean that is, let's extrapolate that over what, 12 months? That's what
times 12.
It's like,
Do the maths.
that's what, like $85,000 basically.
Yeah, it's in that area. It's
Which
14
is
plus 7, 84. Yeah.
Yeah, like, which is like, two regular people's salaries put together for you to live in that apartment. And in this article, one of the girls who's mentioned, she majored in entrepreneurship. These people who are living in these esteemed places are not neurosurgeons. They're not particle physicists. They're not the Mozarts of their day. They are the functionaries of a larger capital system.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they are the. I was saying this
They're
to you.
the heirs of the capital winning lottery.
Yeah, they're essentially like a phantom American aristocracy. That and you had a good point where aristocracy means the highest and the best.
Yeah, but people also seem to conflate bourgeois with upper class, even though it means middle class. But maybe this is my own learning curve with language. I just need to get acquainted with what it means now.
I mean, I just think the problem that I foresee here is basically like this is is this the teleological, the final end of all working class neighborhoods? Like, famously the West Village was known as the meatpacking district. So it was where butchers and factory people and gay people like all
packed the meat.
They packed the meat in many different ways.
That's why it's called that.
And even in the Lower East Side, which is across, the peninsula from the West Village,
meat packers,
called
district.
the Mini Meat Packers or Chinatown.
Yes.
Hey! Oh! Yeah, take that, China! Brah, brah, brah! Brah, brah! Yeah. You guys get to podcasters, and come up with that shit.
Yeah,
Fuck
that's
you.
right.
No, but point being, like, they like these places, even in the place where I'm from, or town where I've lived, Milwaukee. There's a place in Milwaukee, and it's Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and I used to live there, and I went to a place called the Third Ward a couple times, and famously the Third Ward was our industrial district, but it's recently been renovated over the past 20-30 years because industry has moved out. There's no shipping, there's no factory production, there's no hands-on tactile work, so all these former factories have been turned into basically like pop-up shops or boutique clothing stores or speakeasies or all these other things.
Right.
And one of my biggest questions is, like, we're looking right now at, like, we haven't done a great job necessarily of sketching the West Side Girl. Excuse me. The West Side Girl. But I think you have some idea. She's a nice, innocent young woman.
Well, let's not make those assumptions.
Well, we're
It's just like
stereotypically she's
just a rich. Let's be real. It's just like
she's a rich girl.
person.
Yeah.
Who is chronically attached to TikTok or other social media.
Yeah.
And their friendship circle is derived from said software.
Like
I mean, like, I don't know. Like, help me sort this out, because this to me describes a lot of people. This is one thing I was struggling with in the article, is like, well, is it trying to say that essentially the West Village is now like a homing beacon for all 20-somethings who are using social media and want to be in, and are generationally wealthy, of course? Or is there something distinct about this culture that Russia's in there?
No, I think basically what is distinct is ironically its lack of being indistinct. Like in the article, you hear a lot of the people who are interviewed, and when they're asked, like, in the West Village, stereotypically before, you would hear, like, oh, what draws you to the West Village? And it's like, oh, well, I love the fact that it's so artsy. It's so different. I could meet different people and blah, blah. Again, Bob Dylan used to play in those venues 60 years ago. Like, he used to be there. The Beat Generation, who were, like, for their day and age, as corny as they might look now, they were countercultural. The West Village was a hotbed for a while of, like, a kind of American cobblestone individuality. Now, when you interview the typical resident, according to this article of the West Village, what they say is like, I love the fact that everybody here is just like me.
Yeah.
And it feels like college, and it feels like we never left USC or NYU
right.
or the college that I was in the Midwest before I came here. Like, the population
I'm a West Village freshman.
I'm a West Village freshman. It feels like freshman year.
Yeah.
And I feel like I go around the same few blocks and I meet the same people who are either following me on social media or I follow them.
That's wild.
And then we go get cute Aperol spritzes and we take photos. They get thousands of likes and we sell this image
Don't
of...
sell them short. They also got espresso martinis.
They also get espresso martinis. We shouldn't sell them short. I mean...
You're doing a reductionist.
You're right. I don't mean to be reductionist. But that's the problem. Is like we're looking at an area in this country which was once famous for some of the most transgressive figures, which has since been, and quite frankly, it's working class figures, the meatpacking district. And now...
Go NY Meatpackers.
Go NY Meatpackers. Hey, that's where I'm from, my home state.
That's my favorite
The Packers,
team, the
bro.
Meatpackers.
The Packers, that's what they are.
Is that what they packed?
Yes, the Meatpackers.
Really?
Yes. Yeah, unironically.
Oh, wow.
The Green Bay Packers, they packed, like, meat. They packed sausage.
Well, now they just pack other things.
Now they pack trophies, bro.
Yeah,
because we're
bet.
one of the best teams in the NFL.
Oh, is that
so you
true?
Watch your stuff. We are, the trophy that they hand out at the Super Bowl is named after the Green Bay Packers.
Is it? Is it called the Packer Trophy?
It's called the Vince Lombardi Trophy. Who is our coach?
Oh, I'm sorry. Vince Lombardi is from New Jersey.
Oh, he is, but who do you coach for?
All I know is that the Vince Lombardi service station is here in Jersey, and they have a fantastic little Shake Shack there. And you can also buy perfume if you want, because it is a luxurious
He would have loved that.
station. Yeah.
No, but like the thing is we're talking about an area of the country that used to have this known cobblestone, cigarette smoking, rough and tumble, gay, like artist vibe.
Yeah. It was
And-
ages ago, though.
It is ages ago, but in most recently, about 20 years ago, Sex and the City made the West Village popular because it was like where Carrie Bradshaw lived. It was the idea of like, oh, this is where you go with your rich party girlfriends and you do all this stuff. And now it's become truly a Disney, like an Epcot or like a mall. Like I've said it many times before. I said it a lot while I've been here. Anything below 14th Street in New York City, and the West Village is included in this, feels like a theme park. It does not feel like a real city. It feels like it's totally catered towards the tastes and the ideals of we would say, a tourist class who just so happens to live there.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's what this part of the driving thesis, the driving punch of the paper. I don't know if I totally agree with that, because I personally find like the Wall Street area totally inhospitable to travel. I get confused all the time. As like a person who grew up on the Upper West Side, I'm used to well-ordered, gridded streets where it's like if you go one direction, the numbers go down. If you go the other, they go up. So at least you have some idea of like, you know, what direction you're going. And then listen, if you go left to right, you also have avenues there. They're not all numbered, but there's not that many of them, so you can just memorize those and you can have some idea where you're going. When the streets get overpacked in the south, it is hella confusing. Caitlin works on
She works in Wall Street.
She works on Wall Street. Well, she works in the area anyway. And I had lunch with her one time, and we walked past the place where I was supposed to get back on the train to go home. It was like literally 3 minutes after dropping her off, and I dropped her off, and I'm like, where's my mommy? I don't know where I am.
Well,
I'm completely lost.
Famously, the lowest part of Manhattan is the most, what they would say, the original part of the city, which is probably why those people feel so special, because, like, with all the differently named streets, it's right before the grid system comes in, and the grid system in New York, where they start numbering the streets, that's where the modern New York starts. So
Blessed New York. So they call it.
But, like...
Say it.
Blessed New York. That's where Blessed New York starts. Modern Blessed New York.
Yes.
But
there's not a gun to your head either. Say that as well. There's not a gun to your head. Say that as well.
There's no gun. I say that as well.
Bang!
Bah! Oh, no, but, like, these people, like, they live in nice little cute neighborhoods where they're paying literally a person's salary to just rent.
Oh, it's more than a person. Well, I don't know. Define person. Define salary.
I would say, like, these people probably at the least are paying $3,500 to live in their apartment.
Which is a lot.
Which is a lot of money.
And I think it's actually more than that.
And it probably, on average, is more than that. So, like, I experienced this when I was out in Iowa City. And when I was in Iowa City, I remember I'd have a tendency to drink on my own and wander around.
As one does in Iowa.
And one of these nights where I was wandering around, you know, touring my kind of local stops, I happened to have conversations with a bunch of people who were out there. And they were all young college kids.
I thought you were going to say something else.
And basically... what these, I would ask, like, oh, where are you from? I was expecting, oh, I'm from Iowa, you know, I'm from the area, blah, blah, blah. No. They were all like, oh, I'm from Chicago. And you're like, oh, like the city? They're like, yeah. And it's like, oh, where in the city? And they're like, well, I'm actually from a suburb that's like an hour outside, but this is basically Chicago. And, like, Iowa City has become a place where the wealthy of Chicago send their kids because it is close, because they can keep, like, a relative eye on their children. It's safe, you know, it's... Yeah. Yeah, why don't you eat this snack?
I'm trying!
But they...
Do you want some while I'm in here?
Yeah, I do, actually.
Okay.
I'm being a hypocrite, but yeah.
Do you want me to give them to you? Be you okay with my hand?
Yeah, of course,
I did touch my penis with that hand.
That's fine.
That went on the floor. I would not reach for that one.
No. That's
that
for the...
Like, that one's for the hat man who was up here.
No, but, like... I've seen a city that's basically been terraformed by the wealthy who come from outside of it into a playground where they're basically like... They don't go to the artist bars. And there are artist bars in Iowa City where these kids would never go. What they do go to is this place called El Rey's. And El Rey's is a live music venue which used to be populated by, like, the regular bar goers of Iowa City. But then it fell under new management. They oriented towards a more young, affluent college demographic. And all the regulars got pushed out to go to a new bar, to go to another bar. And El Rey's now is known by these college kids as, like, well, this is like the hangout. This is the place that everybody goes. And that's like the story of the West Village, in my opinion, is like this place that used to be a cool live music artistic venue frequented by the regulars of the city, which has since been come under new management. Like, fun fact, there's been over $1 billion in $20 million plus property transactions in the West Village. So in the past 5 years. So, you have all these couture stores like Marc Jacobs, Cucinelli, like all these, different stores, Cucinelli, that are opening up.
What do you buy at Cucinelli?
I don't know, shoes or some shit, whatever the Italians like. I don't know. I don't know. But that's one point is like, in this article, it paints like, the West Village girl as this young, affluent, if naive woman who is a functionary of a larger establishment, which she neither totally understands nor cares about. What does that mean?
Nothing. It just means that I can feel the peanut racking around in there.
And like these people, like, they don't care about, like, they might care about, where Bob Dylan played because they saw the movie with Timothy Chalamet, or they know about it.
They don't
but
give a shit about the beats. No.
There's
all of that history is erased.
That's what I'm saying. Is like,
I mean,
and we were talking about this. So is this the end? Is this the logical conclusion for all artistic neighborhoods or working class neighborhoods? Like, because the meatpacking was both. It was like,
are you in a capitalistic society? Then yeah, because you're essentially saying that the wealthiest people can come in, suck the life out of a place, push out all the locals, because the thing is, nobody wants to be... It's a mutually exclusive thing. Nobody wants to be around ultra-wealthy people, and ultra-wealthy people don't want to be around not ultra-wealthy people. It's like a mutually exclusive, because it's just like one group of people hates the other because they're so privileged. The other hates the other because
they're not more privileged,
gross, and don't have a espresso machine or something. I've cured myself.
They can't
get now,
because when you ask them to go get a cute brunch, they're like, I don't know if I have enough cash, and they're like,
ew,
ew,
yucky, what? You can't have
just
a good
ask
time.
Your dad, dude. Like, ask your parents.
What's that? You don't have a dad who works in law?
What?
Bang!
Yeah, it's seriously like the body snatchers, like, which is what's crazy is like reading this article. There are multiple times where they're like, I love this place because everybody is just like me. The West Village, everybody's just like me, which is like crazy because
that
30, 40 years ago
prophecy,
in the West Village, people would have been like, oh, I love this place because, like,
that's a black guy. Imagine that.
It's different.
Yeah.
It's a little different.
How crazy is that?
And it's like, I might run into this weird artist guy who's got some songs to sing his heart. Or this girl who does paintings, with her fucking hands. But you know what? It's something.
But it's all tits, isn't it?
It's all tits.
Yeah. Well, it used
to be something. It used to be a mosaic of individual human character, and now it's a mall.
Yeah, that's kind of what makes it so funny. It's like,
and is that the end of all human life? A mall?
Yeah,
is that the end of it all?
Dude.
Under this system is just everything, all the blood, all the paint, all the ink, it all gets turned into the bedrock for a mall?
Isn't it just a mall? At the end of it all, isn't it just a mall?
I don't know.
But no, I hear what you're saying. It's like, it is. It's cultural bulldozing when you say, like, oh my god, how does it happen that all the people are me? It happens because you pushed all the other people out. It's not always because they can't afford it. It's just like, sometimes it's just like obnoxious cultural differences. Like, you're really young and you're noisy. And, like, that's okay. You're allowed to be noisy when you're in your early to mid 20s. Like, you're excited, of course, but, like, You know, when you also have, like, I don't know, most early 20-something people I know are, like, poor, and they're, like, figuring out their life direction, you know?
They're not having cute fucking brunches and Aperol spritzes.
No, this
and
is,
all
like,
this
very
shit.
much like a Florida post-retirement, or, like, even... You know, like,
that's what I'm saying. These are like kids who are like 23 or 28.
And their lives are basically
they're already on an existential cruise ship, and they don't want to leave. They don't. Life for them has always been a cruise ship, right? It's always been like like I said before, like you go to the buffet,
right.
You eat your fucking fill, you go to the bar, you drink, you go, have floppy sex with your husband or wife, and then you wake up and you do the same shit, and it's like. There's no sense of struggle. There's no sense of an upward ability to achieve a little bit more. It's like, well, why would you want any more? Why would you want any more than what a West Village girly wants? And maybe that is a good question, and maybe to a degree I'm just a slightly old, bitter idiot who doesn't get it.
You're not old. You're not. I mean,
compared to that, I'm on.
Unfortunately, James. Unfortunately for you, and your age, you don't qualify to be the superior generation that is millennial.
Yeah, sorry. Well,
you are one of these people. I mean, you're not, because we share a economic class, which is a redeeming quality for sure. But you have more in common with these humans than you think.
Dude, I agree. Maybe that's what infuriates me. I see this type of stuff. I see these articles talking about, like, isn't it great that all these girls do is they go and get spritzes and they work jobs in marketing, or their boyfriends work jobs in finance, and they can afford these $5,000 apartments.
Yeah.
And one day they will leave and you won't. And it's like, there's a part of me where it's like, why even be bothered about it? Why even be angry? Why be mad? Like, who cares? It's transient. But there's also something to me where it's like, well, I was telling you about that.
You're like the little boy in Les Mis.
Gavroche.
Fuck you.
Gavroche, yeah.
Fuck you, Mr. Man in the carriage.
Yeah, you know what I love? There's a line he has. And I'll do it in his little fucking Cockney voice.
Do it, please.
He says, there was a time we killed the king. We tried to change the world too fast.
Yeah.
Now we have got another king. He's now better than the last. This is the land of high society. Now when we fight for bread. Like,
dude, I love that you know that.
It's
that is actually giving me goosebumps.
I goofed up the last part, but the point is, like, this is a country where they fought against the tyranny of not just kings, but the tyranny of a class of people who.
You're talking about this country?
Yeah, I would say like genetically, like, this country was born in the opposition to, like, any kind of class of people who are like, just on my merit alone, I'm better than you. Like, Americans.
I totally disagree.
Really?
Yeah, unfortunately. And the reason for that is because, like, yeah, some poor people came here eventually, but by and large, it was people who could afford to, like, buy land, buy the fare, buy the passage. It was, like, rich, religiously persecuted groups who could start colonies here, by and large. It was not just rando fucking immigrants,
You're right. I mean, I just think romantically it's like I was talking about this before.
There's the obvious problem of, like, there were people here and they were doing their own fucking thing, and it's like, who the fuck are you?
You to come in here?
It's like, I'm sorry, were you trying to get to 3A? This is 4B.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You might mean the next continent over, buddy.
Yeah, exactly.
You actually, you meant to go to India.
Were you trying to get to India?
This ain't fucking India. You actually had to cross through here.
Yeah.
We'll give you a corridor, but yeah.
It's that way.
I mean, the ultimate thing for me is, like, the romantic ideal of this country is the pioneer, the immigrants, the person who, who, yes,
I'm
please.
topping you off, yeah?
Thank you, sir. Yes, please. Some of that bonsai sake.
Sake.
But that's my, like, we gotta cheers.
We
a
do,
little bit.
but how about stroopwafel? So I know
I'll take a little stroopwafel. Yeah.
I'm just like such a little porker, you know?
No, I feel you. I gotta. Ooh.
Dude, I don't know how you. At some point, we have to talk about how you cured your fat. Because I never proper got over it.
I fight against it every day.
Do you?
Cheers,
man. James, if you don't know, is like a. What would you describe yourself as? Like a proper fucking thin guy?
No,
bitty boy.
Like I've never been truly thin. I've never had like abs.
Thin now.
I mean, I am now, but I gotta fight against it. I have an app. The problem is I have.
You go like this.
I have appetites,
and you have the proper gauntness, like
I know.
like a little vampire.
But like I will let you in on a secret. For about 2 years, every day, or not every day, every week, for about 2 years, I fasted for a full 24 hours. Not always. Not always. No, sometimes I smoked a cigarette, or I smoked some weed, or I drank. But there were plenty of days where I just, for like a full day, actually more than a full day, I didn't eat anything. And then you get over having food. Sure. I know it sounds awful.
No,
but
it doesn't. I mean, I used to do intermittent fasting and would just eat once a day. But yeah, skipping a full day. The thing is, you can't really do that if you've got like a
physical
job.
Yeah, you gotta wait.
Or even if you want to like exercise or play sports or something, because then you can
do it if you exercise. If you exercise for sure, you can do it. I've worked out on a fast more than a few times.
Yeah, but you're like
would not encourage it.
But James, you're like a 5'3" guy.
Yep.
With a penis capacity of 2 milliliters.
Yep.
You're a very efficiently built human.
That's what the doctors tell me. I know. I'm
you fit in an envelope.
I'm built. I'm built to endure like a number of circumstances.
For real, like you are the one who survives. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I say as I puff on this, but still, yeah. I mean, yeah, I think, but this actually fits into what I was almost saying about these types of people. Is like the West Side girl, the West Village girl, the West Village boy. Like I was talking about this before. I took a road trip once with my stepbrother where we literally went up to this northern Michigan town and we stayed there for a couple days. And all we did there was like we had like a one full day there. We went to a gas station because he wanted to get some soda that he had heard about. We went to a local.
There's legendary soda?
Yeah, there is actually. Verner's.
They have that here.
It's like a route. Yeah, it's like from that area. So it was like, I know. But it was still a big deal. We went there. We went to a thrift store or like a dollar store. We hung out. We went on a hike. We got some food after that. And then we hung out, we walked around a little bit more around the town. We went to a slightly nicer place to get dinner, that night. And then we just kind of walked around the town a little bit more. Then we went to bed. And, like, these West Village girls, there's a clip I want to read from here if my phone will stay alive long enough to do so. But the reason I would even read this to begin with is because like these people extol this idea of like living, like, oh, you just gotta live to the fullest. But it's like, do these people live to the fullest, or do they live to what their funds allow them to? If they had the money that we did, could they find the same joy in life? And
well,
there's this one girl, really quick.
Neil Jared Diamond size. No.
Neil Diamond.
Isn't that Neil Jared Diamond? I thought that was his name.
There's this one girl. Okay, so
you know what I'm talking about, right?
No.
The Guns, Germs, Steel guy.
Oh, the historian.
Oh.
I thought you meant Neil Diamond, like the singer.
No. But he probably intimates something similar.
This girl wrote something. She said, okay, so this is Miranda McKean. I'm just gonna
by the way, by her own admission, a Carrie Miranda hybrid.
Yes, she calls herself a Carrie and a Miranda, which is
emphasis on Carrie.
Bold.
Which, as we've said, is a pathology.
Which you cannot assume. You must be
will
given.
it.
You must
it's
be
like willing schizophrenia upon yourself.
It is. So, Miranda McKean was journaling in her notebook and sipping a cup of green tea. She wore crimson leggings, a stack of candy-colored beaded necklaces, and a black sweatshirt that read self-employed because she is a full-time influencer or quote-unquote creator, as is more polite to say in this part of town. Now, this is your typical West Village girl. Online, the blonde, rosy-cheeked 23-year-old from New Jersey has over 1 million followers across TikTok and Instagram. She posts a lot, most often about her charmed life in the West Village, sweating it out at Pilates, treating herself to weekend froyo, drinking espresso martinis with her girlfriends. Over a photo of herself walking down the street, she wrote this past fall, and I quote, "Life is too short. Wear the sparkly skirt!" Like 4 exclamation points. Post the content. Text the boy. Leave your number on the table. Ask that girl to get coffee. Wear cowboy boots. Year round, if you love them. Try, fail, love, lose, try again, be embarrassing, take a risk, feel it all while you're here! Exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point, quotation ends. Point being, would this girl feel the same if she was in a Northwoods town and all she had to do was go to gas stations to pick up soda, go on a hike, go to dinner at a family restaurant? Would she feel the same?
Wow.
Would her love of life be the same if she did not have all that life has granted her access to? I do not know.
Also, Operation Northwoods. From our last show.
Oh my gosh, yeah, okay, bring it up.
I was almost like thinking, maybe we have little connectives from show to show.
I love this. Yeah, keep going.
Because, like, honestly, I was thinking, like, does this touch on incels? Because I finished the book. I finished the Lauren Bates book.
Yeah, Men Who Hate Women.
Yeah. And I love it, but I have some critiques. Like, I thought it was very saucy. Very saucy. Lots of good stuff. It's anecdotal, and I wish it was more almost anthropological in saying that there's like some kind of pattern, and it's attached to MAGA, and it's attached to like all these different very unsavory channels, but it just seemed to finish with like, there needs to be a terrorism unit for incels, which I mean, I feel like that's a given.
There's gotta be already.
There actually isn't.
I mean,
that's how the book finishes, is that there isn't. But
shit.
But the point is like, I mean, because they are a fucking proper threat. These people, they do fucking school attacks, man. Like, that, it doesn't get more terroristic than that.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, I don't mean to be too much of an asshole, but it's like young men who are angry and not getting sex. I mean, that's Al Qaeda, dude. I mean, that's like, that's like, to a degree, that's like,
that?
I mean, like,
unpack that for me.
I mean, like, that's the Crusades. That's like, I think.
It's not, though.
I think it is. What do
you mean? People didn't fucking sign up to do that. They were drafted into it, and it was a fucking...
Well, the Crusades, some people were drafted. Other people fucking volunteered, like, full heart and sword. And
No. There was the so-called Third Crusade, which was, like, the peasants who went there. And they all got fucking destroyed, by the way. And then they didn't want to do it again, because it was already the third go. They got fucking wrecked. Dude. And, like, it was... This is the... And by the way, I almost don't think it was their fault, even, because it was like... They had been propagandized so hard, so thoroughly. they have nothing. Like we were talking about before about how like you want to believe in an afterlife. Well, I think this is the curse of propagandizing the afterlife, is that like, well, if you're willing to throw away your current life, then guess what? You can have a really sweet one when this is done. You'll be chilling with Jesus. He'll be giving you pats on the back for being a good boy, trying to win back whatever, the fucking Holy Land or something.
Well, they said in the Crusaders like handbook in like the Knights Templar, they were like, if you die in service of the Holy Order, it's not a sin. You can actually kill you. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying they said like you actually. Fun fact, gentlemen, you could actually kill, but if you're killing for God, it's okay.
No, of course.
That's literally what they said.
And
basically.
dude, I mean, you fucking know what the Templars did in Malta? They straight up became pirates.
Well, the Knights Templar was they famously got corrupted.
Oh my god, how did that happen?
Well,
was it just a bunch of fucking dudes who were like, well, we've got a bunch of weapons and armor and we're pretty buff.
And we also created an international banking system that we can operate out of.
And we just happen to have all this money from the church.
Yeah.
Should we just, like, do our own thing for a minute?
But maybe that's
how that goes?
Maybe that's the point. It's like, is anytime money gets involved in something, whether it's the Knights Templar or the West Village, it's like fucked. It's all fucked. It's all fucked. Anything gets erased. Like again, like
because here's the thing. It's like if you tell me there's I don't know, my neighbors are Arabs or something, I'm not gonna do anything about it. But if suddenly it's like, I don't know, you have like a bounty on Arab people, almost like post 9/11, then it's like a whole different thing. Then you are like encouraging people to go after a certain group of people.
Are the West Village girlies just like the Templars of capitalism? And is that like, are they just the willing but unconscious soldiers of a religion, of a faith that they have no greater understanding of, but they follow in the footsteps of because they were graduated into it?
No. I think they're honestly. I mean, it's going to be bittersweet, but I think ultimately this article is not worth our time because the thing is, as Foucault says, every system generates winners and losers. Every political regime, winners and losers. And unfortunately, it's like in our system.
But why are they the fucking winners?
Because they have money. This is a capitalist arrangement.
I know, but that's so like.
Well, move to Denmark, bitch. Because that's what I'm doing.
Like, you see these people. You walk around the West Village or even the Lower East Side, and keep in mind that in Chinatown, over 15,000 rent-regulated apartments have disappeared in 10 years. In about as many years. 10 to 15 years.
Yeah, well, listen. Chinatown has always been expensive, dude. At one point, when I had a big fancy job. What?
No, I mean, you go.
Did I tell you the story?
I don't think you did, no.
When I had a big fancy job, and I was single, I was looking for a place to live, I found this super nice apartment in Chinatown. Only $2,000 a month. Only $2,000.
Only $2,000. That's good.
That's pretty good.
That's good.
Well, get this.
Yeah.
Get this. No windows. Literally no windows. $2,000. Studio. So, I don't know.
I mean, but that's what I'm saying too, is like these people, like they will, and this is maybe my bitter class resentment coming out, but these people, like I've said before, for them this is just life. For them, life is just an Aperol Spritz at brunch, some cute little cheeky lunch,
right?
And then they get then they meet up with the cute guys or the cute girls that they know that they've seen around the block, and they will mix and mingle, and then they'll go to Connecticut like in 5 years or whatever. Blah blah. Like I'm not even somebody who is necessarily like, oh, I'm gonna be a New York native, live or die. Like I can't say that. I'm a transplant here. I moved here from Wisconsin, but my ultimate issue is that I see these people treating New York City like a Hilton hotel. And they are like, I will not leave the designated hotel grounds. And the problem is that, like, we talked, like, these are the people who develop Instagram followings. They have them in the millions. Like, the article is full of girls who are like, oh yeah, I moved here and then I started taking photos and videos of what I was doing, and I got millions of followers, and now people listen to me on TikTok and Instagram and blah blah blah. And it's like, is that healthy? Is that good? Is that like,
I don't fucking know, man. I mean, I think my take on this. I think death to social media is my take.
Yeah,
like I'm super offline, and
it's just like so absurd. It's like
no, it is absurd. I'm like, dude, I personally don't understand social media. Like, really, it is so strange to me.
And these are the people who you'll go to parties with them, and they'll look at you, and if you say you live in Jersey, or they say if you live above 14th, they'll look at you like you live on the fucking moon.
Dude,
They'd be like,
if I said I live in Jersey, these people would be like,
oh, they look at you like a rescue puppy.
Even worse.
Who did that to you?
And also, these people don't fucking rescue dogs. They just buy from breeders. So you don't even.
They have a family connection.
Yeah, totally.
But
that's Bernedoodle. Like, it's always a fucking Bernedoodle.
And that's the thing is, like, ultimately these people, like, I don't, as bitter as I sound, I don't hold resentment against them. What I do hold resentment against is this idea that this is what New York is. And maybe in the multifaceted jewel that is New York City, maybe they are one facet. But I do have an issue with the idea that these people would govern in any way the popular taste of New York City. That they would say, like, this is what it should be. Because I've said it before, these people in the meatpacking district, or especially in the Lower East Side, that was the location of one of the worst slums in New York City history. The 5 Points or the 5 Corners.
Yeah. No, I know. That's where, what's his name? Daniel Day-Lewis was.
In the Dead Rabbits, in Gangs of New York, which we should watch tonight.
Yeah,
we watch it tonight if you want. It's dumb. It's bad. It's
It's
not
how
great.
It happened.
But the whole thing is like
Liam Wilson, and it's time for you to die.
Yeah, let me take you with you. Hold on, let me get drunk and then piss my pants, and then I'll show you Christ's justice.
And then may the pog your horn.
But like these people,
that's what they say, right?
What? Poke my horn, kiss my ass. Poke my horn means kiss my butt.
I thought Poke my horn meant may the roads rise from under your feet.
May the road rise to meet you. May the wind always be at your feet. That's the
nice one.
That is the nice one.
I thought may it rise like may it like fucking fuck you up.
That one I don't know.
Like,
I'm not Irish.
Quaking or some shit.
I'm not angry enough to know. But I do know that an Irish blessing that you would say, at least an Irish American one, is may the road rise to meet you, may the wind always be at your feet. And it's usually accompanied with a song.
May the hand stroke your dick.
And may the hand stroke your dick so gently, so fucking kindly.
May you rhyme on the water, may your dick come on the sea.
What a beautiful Irish phrase. No, but these people, like,
that just came to me.
They live in apartments that cost $5,000 to $7,000 a month, and they're living in areas where 120 years ago immigrants used to live 8, 9, 10, 12 stacked in a room.
But listen,
fighting there, and that's the character.
What's to be done?
Well, the question is the question that I asked that I've been asking all day is like, is this the fate of all communities? Like even middle class. Like, is this the fate of all? Like, are all industrial communities, like all former blue collar environments, destined to eventually become nothing more than strip malls? And the same thing, honestly, even with like office space, middle class, white collar jobs, like are all these areas destined to become nothing more than museums or artifacts of what they once were, like paraded around in and through by the spoiled children of the wealthy elite who would never have to do the type of demeaning work that was required to even build the buildings in which they live now. These people would never do the work. If you would never do the work to build the building you're living in, you should not be living there. Hot take.
Whoa, that's hot take.
But if you would not be part of the construction crew, if you would not help lay brick at least one day to live there, then you should not live there.
I mean,
that's my honest opinion, and I don't think that's unfair.
Between you and me, you may get that chance. Because I do want to lay my own brick. I want to seal it in cum.
Seal it. Fucking
seal it in my semen.
Yes.
No, but for real, I saw this video of this like older couple, and it was actually so beautiful. Like, they're working together, they're building it up, and they bought this tract of land in Colorado somewhere to be near their kids, and the dad's a builder or something. And it's just like, it's so nice. They were I don't know, probably in their like 50s, 60s when they did this build. And they did such a fucking banger of a job. I mean, literally from tip to tail they finished it. Like, laid the foundation, drafted the plans and everything, built up the walls, did the roofing and all, did the heating. It's a totally sustainable arrangement, obviously. Like,
where
self-sustaining.
Was this?
It's in Denver. Or like out of the suburbs of Denver. And it's man, I mean, it's beautiful. I mean, it's not, it's okay, but like the fact that they did it is beautiful. And I feel like this is something that's gonna be, I mean, in a way, like, it's totally lost. Like, physical labor activities are like totally on the way out.
Yeah, you know what I think? Actually, I've proposed this before and people have shot me down, but I actually think that everybody in our society, like, you know how in like Switzerland or in other places they require like mandatory military service?
Yeah.
I think one day out of every year, everyone here, in New York City at least, should have to be a garbage man or a garbage woman. Like, I think you should work for the street department. I think you should have, like, jury duty. You should be called to work for the local public works department that lays brick or that throws out the trash or does all that shit. And I
agree with that. They have that, by the way. They have what you're describing. Civic service. You don't have to go to the military. You can go and work as an EMT.
I think, at the risk of sounding dictatorial, I think it should be mandatory. Because I think, like, these...
I agree with you, but I think it should be exclusory of military service. I actually think it should be purely civic service.
Yeah, no, I agree. It shouldn't be anything tied with the military. It should just be purely with the city you live in.
Literally bettering the area where you yourself live.
Because there's always been an implication with American people that, like, you put into the city you live in. But with these people, with these, like, West Village types, it's like all they'll do is they will come here, they'll move here on somebody's dime or another. And they will live in apartments that used to belong to former immigrants who literally had to sell their fucking rotten fruits, their children, to be here. That was their struggle. That was what it took to be in New York City. Like 120 years ago. It was like you actually had to, like, suffer physically. You had to be in physical pain to be in the city day after day. And now these people live in luxury apartments or renovated, vintage apartments.
It's not.
And I just think I think part of life, part of nature, to go back to natural stuff, is struggle. And you should have to struggle to live in the place where you're living. I'm not saying that these people aren't, but
I hate this argument because the thing is, you can cure it really easily. Are you okay?
Oh yeah, I'm fine.
Because if this were nature, I would kill you and take over the podcast because I saw weakness in you just now.
Well, I would fight you.
Yeah, but you would lose.
Would you?
I'm way taller than you. I would just go bonk.
You haven't seen me though.
What? Dude, you're feisty.
I'm durable.
I would do a big rape on you.
I'm a little scrappy. And you do a big rape on me. Listen here, brother. I'm about to do a big rape on you, brother. Oh shit!
Show you your place.
Yeah, I mean, but
for real, I don't think you need this fascistic struggle at all. I think you just need to. I think you just need a sense of super common human empathy to say listen, thank God I was born into this higher position where my parents have all this money and I'm off to a great head start, but hey, I'm going to invest back into society.
Yeah.
Because frankly, I could have been born to different parents or, whatever your rationale is. If you're just investing back into this, even if you're just thinking okay, well, I come from this place, I should invest back into this place, right? Even if it's just not from this karmic cycle argument or something. But just that you acknowledge that other people played a formulative role in your development, that your society is something that you thank for your development. You can show, specifically with money, because the fucking Department of Education is getting gang raped right now. The DOE is done.
Yeah.
Public education, by the way, from the start has been this. It's just terrible. I mean, it depends on state to state where you're at, but certainly in the city, it's just holy shit. It's a nightmare. And you can it's a solvable problem, though. It's just, all you have to do is put more money into it. And what the problem is just that you have all these ultra wealthy people who, I don't know if they even think that they're contributing back by being content creators or whatever the fuck, or tastemakers. But the truth is, we don't need tastemakers right now. We need people to give back and become teachers, become doctors, become teachers again. Literally, we need teachers, doctors, teachers in that order.
Yeah.
And teachers maybe a fourth time. Because there's literally not enough people who care for students who can't afford to go to private schools, which is most students.
Well, the issue is that, in my personal estimation, is with these types of people that the article describes, they will see their standard of life and they'll be well, this is just the standard of life. This is what it should be.
Dude, these people are Barbies. They're not real fucking people.
I know, but the thing is that they form a class of people that creates this idea, this hegemonic idea that this is what life actually is.
I don't care. About what these people think.
You shouldn't, but that's my point.
I agree with you that their scope of reality is so honed in that all they can see is
the themselves. Is, these people have the money and the influence and the connections to be it doesn't matter.
They're not involved.
They are.
So what do you? They're not. No, I mean they're literally not involved. They're not giving their money to
No.
other people.
No.
So unless you get like a situation where you're going to kidnap these people, call me when you want to kidnap.
They
Cut that out.
I don't even have to call you. but seriously, like they don't even have to these young men and women, and they're not bad people, but they are functionaries. They exist solely.
You say they're not bad.
These West Village girls and West Village boys will move to the West Village or places like it in the United States and all over the world because it's a place, like we've talked about, where they can meet people who are just like them, and they get to have the same experiences that they've had, just in a slightly different
Let me ask you
environment.
something.
But really quick, my
Okay.
point is that, like, they will then go on to get married, and they will have children, and those children will become neurosurgeons or investment bankers that will go to
Yada
Ivy
yada
League
yada.
schools,
They'll
blah, blah,
drive
blah.
a plane and then they'll
Yeah.
kill themselves on that plane because the
But-
dad is drunk one time.
Yeah.
And he crushes his entire lineage, and that's
And that's how it goes.
we clap for that.
But
But-
the whole thing is, like, they, whether you like it or not, they serve as they are refined petroleum and we are coal. Like, they are the prime fuel for the entire system. We're the backup. Like, we are the. You don't.
That's not true.
I think it is.
Why
I
are
mean,
they the prime fuel? They're the prime fuel because what? They make more money?
Yeah, exactly. Because they have more net worth attached to them. Like I said before, like, I would not be surprised if major social media networks like Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, whatever, YouTube even, had ways to determine your net worth based on who's in your social network. And I would not be surprised consecutively.
So I picked out two.
Oh, you're fine. Oh, do I get one? Oh,
Yeah.
thank you.
You're welcome. I'm
I
sorry.
would. No, you're fine.
I feel like I'm a little.
Dude, these are great.
Porker.
Don't even fucking
All right.
trip, dog. Don't trip, dog.
I'm just like.
No, I'm saying that these people, like, excuse me, like, I'm not saying they're better than you or better than me. What I'm saying is, like, if we look at the current system like a machine, like something that is designed algorithmically to reward optimal results, these people, by the sheer class of part that they were born as, have a higher and better serial number, and they will be chosen. Like, these boys and girls, and I feel almost bad for them, these West Village boys and girls.
No.
Because really what they are,
That's the thing.
they
though.
function as the fuel rods of a capitalist nuclear enterprise that is dying.
No, dude, they
You
act.
know?
They don't though. They don't.
I think they do.
They are part of the TikTok influencer group. Okay, if TikTok goes down or if people start using YouTube again or whatever, they'll be out of a job. Okay, and they will be literally worthless. Like, they don't live paycheck to paycheck on their TikTok or whatever. They ultimately live in a sense of complete freedom because they're buttressed by their doctor parents or their lawyer parents or whoever the fuck, right?
But they still okay.
Like, and
I mean, because they still have a hand in representing, like, these are the people who get, and I'm playing devil's advocate, but
Yeah,
these are the people who
advocate.
they get millions of subscribers on YouTube.
Right.
These are the people who are like, oh, my favorite parts of New York are Soho, Washington Square Park, and Chinatown. That's those are the best parts of New York. You should go. Like, and am I saying that, like, though there aren't good parts
like,
go
what is
in
the,
those?
What is the revenue? Even if you have like 1 million subscribers on TikTok, it can't be that much because the reality is you put out a little blurb. Today I'm drinking martinis with friends. What do you blurb next time? Today I'm drinking Negronis with friends. Like, these things have diminishing returns because if your content is not as exciting as when I first saw it, I'm going to lose interest. That's just the truth.
Yeah, but these people, like, it's like it doesn't matter because, like, the content or the material they put out is secondary, right? Like, you know, guys like you and us would make this type of shit.
Me and you.
Me and you.
Me and us. You and us.
We would put out this type of shit, and we're just like hoping that something good, something cool comes out of it. Like it's fun to talk like this, in this medium, in this format. And this is something we would do anyway. So it's much. Like may as well
recording what we would
just enjoy. But these people, they're not doing that. They're not doing that. They whether they realize or not, because these people have always been surrounded by wealth and the incentive of wealth. So when they post something, it will get, if it's, and usually again, they're attractive young men and women, it will get likes, it will get taste. And if they are associated with a circle of affluent people, it may have a better chance of going viral. It'll go viral, and then all of a sudden they're Alex Cooper. They're Alex Cooper, who is displacing Joe Rogan as the number one, podcaster in the world. But what does that even fucking mean? Because if Joe Rogan is a fucking gibbering idiot and you displace him, what does that mean? That you're the number one gibbering idiot in the whole world? Like, but these people will hold this as...
Well, what vitamins does he offer?
What's your brain and your wiener, bro?
Does he have nootropics?
I'm just saying, like, I think ultimately... I do feel bad for these people because I feel like these West Village types...
You're avoiding the questions, James.
What is the question?
Does Alex Cooper offer nootropics?
Not as far as I'm aware.
Well,
has she ever recommended Brain Force? Not that I know.
Oh, it's a woman.
Yeah, Alex Cooper. Yes, Alex Cooper.
Oh, well then.
Call her daddy. You ever heard? You ever heard?
No.
No.
I don't listen to women.
Sorry. Smart man. No,
I only listen to men who give me pills.
No, you should listen to women. Some women really know what they're talking about. They really do.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I've never heard.
Much like men, not a lot of them.
It sounds like a penisless man, which is not a man at all.
That's what the Greeks would have said. An injured woman, an injured man, a weakened man. We should find a way to wrap this up.
I'm a weakened man right now.
I mean, I just think.
Give me your finishing coup on these
West Village girls. Okay, so basically, here's the thing: it's like I don't hate them. Like there's a part that wishes of me that wishes I could wake up tomorrow, and I wake up in a nice bed in a well-furnished West Village apartment, and there's a group of girls who are like, oh, come get Aperol spritzes, and I don't have to worry about money, and I don't have to worry about comfort.
You're waking up in a bed of women.
Yeah.
Beckoning you to Aperol spritzes?
Yeah, but that's
what
are
you like a fucking prince?
That's what these girls wake up in. They wake up and they don't just wake up in like
oh, James.
They might wake up in a bed on their own, but they wake up in a community, and maybe that's really what they want. And to a degree, you know what? In that case, I can identify with these girls. If they are truly like, what I'm looking for is a community. I'm looking for a community of girls who feel the same as I do. I feel that.
Yeah?
I understand it. I understand wanting to be wanted, wanting to feel, fun and cool and sexy and all this other shit.
You are fun and cool and sexy, James.
Yeah, thank you.
Accept it.
But what I will say is, like, this entire life, real New York City life.
I have a major
real New York City life is gritty. And you don't know where your next paycheck is coming from.
It doesn't.
And you don't know if you're going to be able to get those cute Aperol spritzes. And you don't know if you can pay for brunch. And you don't know if you can even get the next taxi. And you don't even know if you have enough money for the train to get you to the place where you're going to maybe not even be able to pay for brunch. That's New York City.
Okay.
So you don't get to live in New York and not worry about money. Because guess what? 120 years ago, there were like a bunch of fucking Irish and Jewish and Italian and Hungarian and whatever immigrants crammed into a building in the same place that you're living in for now $5,000, and they were paying all their life savings to sell rotten fruit and peddle their fucking jeans or write
Peddle their
music
jeans?
or do whatever.
They didn't have jeans until the 50s.
Well, they tried. They tried. But point being is, like, you should, if you're a West Side girl, I envy you. I really do. I love the position you're in. And you should try, in that case, to make it something special. Do not, because in this fucking article, all they talk about is how awesome it is to be like everybody else. That's all they talk about. They're like, oh, it's so awesome to look like everybody. It's so awesome to be like everybody. Do not do that. Be somebody different. Do something else. That's what the West Village is about. If you really want to be a Carrie, and you can't actually be a Carrie if you want to be a Carrie, but if you want to be a Carrie in any sense, then you will try to do something different. You will try to be something different. You will look ugly at the brunch. That's the reality of the situation.
Right.
You are.
I think you're getting carried.
No,
away.
dude. I think ultimately, like, you either choose. You can totally be with the flock, or you can be individual.
I don't think it's that simple.
I
think, look, I feel the same way you do about these people. I think they are definitely wankers, like a generation of wankers proper, but, like...
We should watch Train Spotting tonight. That's what we should watch. Oh.
Dude, I'm not trying to find heroin fashionable.
Come on.
No,
come on.
I don't want to do it,
okay,
but then I'm going to want to do it.
Yeah, of course.
Because he's so hot, isn't he? That Ewan?
Yeah, dude.
How do you pronounce it?
Ewan McGregor.
Ewan?
You and me.
You and me?
Just the two of us.
It's just the two of us.
But
no, my point.
What
is
do you actually think? Yeah, about...
Yeah, my point is like, I think it's interesting. I understand people's iration. I understand their indignation. I understand being upset that, like, you know, you're right to call them tourists because they are almost self-admittedly that. Like, they're like, oh well, I'm not gonna raise children here because, of course, they do have Hamptons properties where they can do that or something. But like, I don't know. Like, at one part, I'm like, there's always going to be winners. And there's always going to be losers. We're going back to what I said in the beginning. But it's just about curbing the margins. Where it's like, if you are a loser, at least you can get health care. You know, at least you can get social benefits that make you not dying alone in bed at the age of 32. You know, no, I'm not talking about myself in particular, but like you can get sick at any age, right? But like, I don't want to just like hate on these people just because like.
I will.
Listen, at one point it's just like,
I'll hate on these people.
I know you will, but like,
I will.
They kind of don't know how like else to live their lives.
I agree, but
like
everyone,
you'd be the same way, man. Like,
of course, we'd all be the same way if we were raised that way. But the thing is like the a sensible opinion sometimes is like, well, this is the way that you should be raised. But it's, you know, just because you have the more affluent hand does not equate to.
I totally agree.
You know, so it's like, how do you actually combat that? Because these are the people who can go to the nice bars, can go to the nice restaurants, and over and again they do it. But how do you tell them, like, listen, ladies and gentlemen, like, that's not the real life. That's not the real. That's not it. That's not it.
Yeah, no, I get it.
You've been suckered in by the Las Vegas of life. You know, you've been suckered in. Like, your whole life is the Strip.
Yeah.
You know, how do you tell somebody that? Like, because like, if you've never had no money in Las Vegas, you would think that Las Vegas is the best place to be.
Yeah.
But if you've had no money in Las Vegas, then you know just how empty the Strip can feel.
That's not true. Because
That's
there's
true.
shows. They have good shows.
If you have no money, if you have no
Oh, yeah.
money,
Well, okay. But you
If you
still
have
have
no
the little
money.
pictures of the women with
of course you do.
brassieres and stuff.
But for these people, it's like, it's just an endless strip. It's an endless series of
No,
hotels.
but
Yeah,
no,
it
that's
is.
not true. Because obviously there's a life to be had in between.
Oh, who did that? Was that you? Is that no?
Who did that? Who
Whoops.
did that
Sorry.
fucking massive fart?
Sorry, that was me.
Really? Was it you?
Oops. No, of course not. Disgusting. No. Whatever.
But like, your point is like almost let's draw sabers and cut these people in half. And I'm saying like there is an in between reality where it's like
yeah.
you know, there are these absurdly rich people who live super carefree and just like do what they want, and they never have to work a day in their lives. And like, yeah, it's bitter because I have to work with wet shoes and stuff for $1 over minimum wage. But and I mean, I don't know, I didn't like, to be clear, like, this isn't my life. Like, I'm frictionally unemployed, college educated, used to have a good job, but tech jobs are on the way out. But my point is like,
If you know the right people.
yeah, obviously not if you know the right people, but I don't fucking know anybody, so
Yeah,
that's the difficulty. But my point is, James, it's like you know, I fall into this trap all the time of just like, I hate so and so because like,
I'm not going to condemn the West Village girl. Like, there's a part of me, of course, I would love, like, not to be too crass, I would love to wake up in a bed of roses next to a group of West Village girls. Because I feel like they...
A group?
Yeah, of course.
A group.
Yeah, a group. A group of these girlies...
Who you did a fuck on?
No. No.
Oh.
No, nothing
You're
sexually...
one of the girls?
No, nothing sexually implicit. It's just like...
You're just a guy.
You're along for the ride. You're along for the ride for a day with these West Village girlies, and you get to see how they live. Like, you get to see their cute, not to be too rude, their cute, dumb, simple little lives where they go to have, like, a little cheeky Aperol spritz, and then they go to Pilates, and then
You don't know if they're cute and dumb. I mean, they could be.
It's true. They could be
people.
ruthless. And I'm being really unfair. I just think, like...
Look, all the information we have is that there's this group of people who don't have jobs, who live in a rich area,
Oof.
and they've taken over the conventionally rich areas. So that's all we know.
Are you saying we should identify with them?
Excuse
Should
me.
we support them?
What? No. I'm just saying, like, we don't need to
Jump to conclusions?
accuse them of all this stuff. I mean...
Office Space. We should watch Office Space.
I have seen Office
We should
Space.
watch Office Space
I could quote
today.
Office
We
Space
should.
to you.
I could quote up. No, I actually. I
My
will
point
say.
is, it's just like,
no, it's a good idea. It's a good
just,
point.
Like, I don't
It's a
want
good
to get
point.
run away with this. Because,
No,
like,
I know.
And by the way,
I tend to get so angry, and I'm sorry. Like, I get angry.
No,
I
don't
get
get-
effusive.
don't be sorry.
No. But I get like I sling accusations, and you know what? I've lived in many ways a charmed, nice life, and I should not throw aspersions on people who I've seen, who I may be jealous of because I recognize them living a similar life, but at a higher level.
That's
you know.
That's what I'm responding to.
So-
It's like, you know, like I didn't grow up in fucking Rwanda, man. Like,
No.
my life has been pretty good.
I grew up in fucking rural Wisconsin. I still had a pretty good life,
And
like
you ended
compared.
up here.
And I ended up here.
Yeah, so, like, and
So you know what?
it's just like
I would wish the best to the West Village girls.
Yeah,
Actually, unironically, I do. Unironically, I mean, I'm a few sakes and a margarita in, but
I don't wish them the best. Like,
No,
I,
but-
I wouldn't go that far. I wish
them something
I wish
happy
them-
and real.
I wish that they would get a little
Something
perspective.
real. Yeah.
I wish they would read a book.
I hope you have a night where it's like you go out in the West Village and it's something you never expect. I hope you meet somebody or something that totally throws your expectations. Like I that's all I would hope, because I do understand, and I think it's totally right to want to go somewhere. We've talked about this before. We talked about before how it would be awesome to be back in college and to be in a place where, like, you know people, and so I totally get that. Well, I get that impulse.
These are literally growing pains.
Yeah,
right?
They are.
This is literally the suffering of like having to be an adult, which I get is like super hard for people.
Dude, growing up, like growing up.
Leaving college where
it sucks. It sucks.
Can just talk to people and
it's
be like,
hard.
What class are you in?
It's hard.
It's awesome.
Realizing how big the world is and how empty it truly is, like devoid of all structure, is tough. And
it's not empty. It's bitter. That's the problem.
Bitter is a good word to say. So I would say to if any West Village girls ever listen to this, if you're a West Village girl and you're still listening to this. Wow.
And,
honestly, thank you.
Would like to go on a date?
Thank you.
Please hit James up.
No. I'm not open for dating. But what I would say is, all I could encourage you to do is, like, you know what? You are who you are. Go out and do who you are. Try for something different. Follow the random, like... I'm not asking you to do anything dangerous.
I'm not asking you to, like, go to Milwaukee.
I'm not asking you to go to Milwaukee. But what I'm saying is, like, smoke that cigarette, like, wander...
What would be, like, proper advice? Well, how would you correct these people?
Okay.
To cure them of their ills, let's say.
Okay. What I would say... Hold on.
What are you looking for?
Oh, I got this. It's right here. What I would basically say is this. Is like...
What's that?
It's a cigarette. Gas.
You can't smoke that up here.
I'm not going to smoke it up here.
Because you'll set fire to the whole thing.
Of course. I just got to make sure. Okay. So what I would say to the whole thing is, like, for the West Village girl, like, if you're taking an opinion, and you don't have to take my opinion at all. I'm like a dirty guy who's talking in a New Jersey attic, and I'm from Wisconsin. I'm not fucking from here. But what I would say is this. It's like, you do you. Enjoy the time that you have. Enjoy it. But also seek differences. Find differences. Like take the random side road. And I know this is so dangerous. I know it's way easier for a guy to say this than for a girl. But take a random side road. Like, go somewhere your friends normally wouldn't. Walk into a dive bar that people go out of for some reason. Smoke a cigarette in a place you normally wouldn't. Like, do something that you would not expect in a place that feels right, but also you never planned on being in anyway. Like, the whole idea, I think, of New York City, if I can be totally honest,
oops, I take two again.
Is winding up somewhere you never expected, but finding stuff that blows your mind no matter what.
Stroopwafel.
Yeah, try stroopwafel. Like, find something that you never thought you would. That's the beauty of New York City. It's not finding what you found in college. It's finding something beyond and testing yourself beyond what you thought you could be. And that's what a real West Village girl is. That's really what she is. She goes beyond who she is.
Or he is.
Or he.
Or they are.
Or they. And they find something that is so wholly unanticipated and unimagined, and only they could have found it by going out there. We should probably head out. All right.
One sec. Hang on. I'm gonna do a call back real quick. Hang on. Sorry.
It's 11:30. We should go.
Yeah. Hi. How are you? Yeah. James is wrapping up his advice. Yeah, of course.
All right.
Alright, bye-bye.
Are we
Right,
about?
well, I thought that was insightful.
What do you think?
Advice for the ladies or
Yeah.
and the boys and the
In general,
and the
yeah. What would you say?
people?
Like, to people who are listening and they're
Yeah.
like, you know what, Rob? Like, I've listened this far.
I mean, I think it's problematic that there is an acknowledgement that where they are is exactly where they were, because obviously life isn't college. College is like a paradise, and it's unfortunately a paradise that not everybody gets to experience. Because at that point you might as well say, well, it was just like high school, and then from there you might as well just say it was just like middle school. And of course, the only difference is that you're of drinking age and you're not, right?
Yeah.
And it becomes this like chain of like, well, I'm basically in the same place that I was when I started, which is surrounded by people of my socioeconomic, cultural, genetic background, you know? And nothing has changed. And it's just really surprising that I find other people like that here. In a like the only difference is a latitude and longitude.
Yeah, absolutely. That's exciting. That's exciting to a degree. That's like
It's
to
not
find.
though. It's not. I mean, it's like you're tricking yourself because you're really in the same place with similar, probably white people who are, just as. Oh my God, you're from. I don't know. The
New Jersey, California,
Orange
Chicago,
County or something, or Humboldt or something. Wow, me too. And I don't know. That's great. Maybe that's exciting, but if that's the external limit of your excitement, I think you need to get out a little bit more. Go see Latin America or something. Go see Africa.
explore the world.
Explore the
See
world.
See something different than what you are.
Try sandals. I don't fucking know, man.
Yeah, try sandals resort. No, do something to break up the monotony.
Yeah,
accept who you are, but still be willing to go beyond.
Honestly, it's like my gut reaction was just like, I don't know. I mean, I felt a little bad because I've never felt like any place I've gone to has been college after college. And of course, I'm nostalgic for college just like everybody else
It's
is.
a time and a place. You can't recreate it. It just won't happen.
It's just I think...
It just won't.
Yeah, I get that people want to...
You can try, but it won't happen.
Yeah,
It just won't.
well, hey. Obviously, these people have figured out. Maybe they have the secret sauce. Maybe
they do.
Maybe the trick is just if you
maybe they should invite us to some of their parties.
Hey, here's my number, and you just it's 666. Are you writing this down?
Yep, I'm writing it down.
666?
666.
And then finally, 666.
666. 666.
Last number.
6. Oh, 666. 666. 6.
And then 4 sixes.
And then 4 sixes.
3 sixes.
6.
3 sixes.
Wow.
4 sixes.
That's a good number.
How'd
you wind up with that one?
I got really lucky. I won a lottery.
It was almost ordained.
Yeah.
It's like you were sent here.
And also the 666 is the Tennessee area code, so... Yeah. Also, if you notice, I'm lifting up my leg to reveal a large satanic tattoo.
It's huge. It's a whole diagram pandemonium. Actually, it's
Yeah.
like the exact frame out of Dante's Inferno.
Yeah, but bigger because I have very large thighs.
That's awesome. Yeah.
From
yeah, of course.
when I was a bocce ball player.
Yeah, of course.
Because you need big thighs.
Bocce ball.
Yeah. Yeah.
What would you say is one last thing to those?
I didn't mean to
No.
to defend them, but I just felt bad because frankly, who knows what their world perspective is like? Maybe they really are
maybe they have
super
something
limited.
Maybe they're onto something.
No, I'm not saying they're onto something.
Maybe they are. Maybe they are.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm saying
Maybe they are.
feel like you're mocking me. I feel like I genuinely feel like maybe they are so limited in scope and perspective and like lived experience that like they just like.
What are you supposed to do?
What are you supposed to do? Like you know, your parents have lived a certain way. You're accustomed to a certain sense of reality, and like, you know, you just, you know, you don't do physical labor jobs. It doesn't occur to you, like, if you're running low on money to, like, do a job or something.
No one blames you for your station in life. I think the only thing you can do is, like, if you're able to recognize your station in life and wield that to the most appropriate benefit to yourself and to the people around you, then you become a hero. If you refuse to recognize the value of your station in life, then you can become a hero for yourself, but not for other people. But if you truly recognize who you are and what that means in the context of, you know, your life, then you can do something truly significant. You can become more than West Side Girly. You can become an icon. One would say you could become a Carrie, or you become even more than that. And one would say that there is a hope that through all the West Side Girly articles and the Aperol spritzes and the matcha green teas and the Carrie
Stop touching my leg, please.
photo shoots. I'm sorry. One would say that you would hope that, like,
Please.
Beyond all that, you shoot through that, and that you would realize that, like, you're more than a location, a persona, an identity, a sense of self. That's when you truly become simultaneously more than a West Side Girly and also the West Side Girly.
You become the
You
Carrie.
become the ultimate Carrie, which again is a position that is not, you do not identify as Carrie. You just are.
You are.
You are, or you are not.
So basically, in summary, the episode is called Doth, Carrie, or Not.
Doth Carrie or not Carrie. Amen,
This has
brother.
been Podcast.
This has been the podcast.
Cheers,
All
cheers.
right, cheers.
Bye-bye, gang.
And we close this out. Goodbye, everybody. Have fun.
Have fun.
Fucking figuring this one out. Amen, brothers. All right.
Bye-bye.
And sisters.
The
Brother.
last leg was a